The boarding gate fell silent. A young black girl stood frozen, her plane ticket torn in half before her eyes. The flight attendant sneered. Maybe next time buy a real ticket. But as murmurs rippled through the luxury terminal, a voice echoed from the cockpit. A voice that made every head turn and would change the entire tone of the day. To understand what really happened that morning, we need to go back. Zoe Carter adjusted her blazer and glanced at the departure board glowing. Above the crowd, at just 17, she carried herself with quiet confidence, refined but humble. Her father always said, "Grace before greatness." Zoe, never forget who you are. She was traveling alone that morning, first class, ticket to Tokyo, a surprise trip, booked by her father as a reward for her academic excellence. The international airport buzzed with luxury. Glass walls, soft piano music, passengers in designer suits. But amidst the calm, prejudice can still hide behind polite smiles. Zoe approached the gate counter, her boarding pass in hand. The flight attendant, a sharp-featured woman with a forced smile named Melissa Grant, looked her up and down. "Excuse me," Zoe said kindly. "Is this the line for Flight 128 to Tokyo?" Melissa didn't smile back. Her eyes flicked from Zoe's braids to her designer bag, then to the first-class label on her ticket. Melissa repeated, eyebrows raised. "Are you sure this is yours?" Zoe blinked, caught off guard. "Yes, ma'am. My father booked it for me." Melissa chuckled, the kind of laugh meant to humiliate. "Sweetheart, I think you're mistaken. This line is for premium passengers. Economy's that way." A few passengers turned to watch. Zoe's cheeks warmed, but her voice stayed even. "There's no mistake. Please, just scan it." Melissa sighed, rolled her eyes, and snatched the ticket. She scanned it once. Then again, it beeped green both times. But instead of handing it back, she smirked and ripped it clean in half. "Guess the system glitched," she said flatly. "Security will deal with it." Gasps fluttered through the crowd. Zoe stood frozen, her pulse pounding in her ears. The guard nearby looked uneasy. Even he knew the attendant had gone too far. "Ma'am," Zoe said quietly, her voice trembling but steady, "that was my ticket." Melissa crossed her arms. "Then maybe next time you'll learn not to fake one." Zoe didn't shout, didn't cry. She just stood there, eyes glistening, jaw tight, trying to hold her dignity while strangers whispered. But one of those whispers reached the cockpit. Captain Elias Moreno had been preparing for takeoff when he overheard fragments from the crew intercom. "Passenger issue. Black teenager. Fake first-class ticket." Something about it made his stomach tighten. He'd been with the airline long enough to recognize when policy was just prejudice in disguise. He stepped out of the cockpit, hat in hand, his voice calm but commanding. "What's going on here?" Melissa straightened. "Captain, there's been an incident. This passenger tried to board with a fake ticket." Zoe looked up, meeting the captain's eyes. "Sir, I promise I didn't. She ripped it before I could explain." Captain Moreno frowned. "You ripped it?" Melissa hesitated. "Well, yes, but it didn't seem real." He turned to Zoe. "Miss, what's your name?" "Zoe Carter." That name made the captain freeze. Every senior employee at Skyline International Airways knew that name. Zoe Carter, the daughter of Jonathan Carter, CEO and founder of the airline itself. Captain Moreno swallowed hard, then tapped his earpiece. "Tower, confirm passenger Zoe Carter's reservation for Flight 128. Within seconds, the reply came back. Confirmed. First-class suite, flagged for executive courtesy, Mr. Carter's daughter. Melissa's smirk evaporated. Her face drained of color. Captain Moreno's tone shifted, sharp, commanding. "Miss Carter, I deeply apologize for this behavior. Please step aboard. You're among our most valued passengers." He turned to Melissa, who stood frozen, speechless. "As for you," he said quietly but firmly, "you're relieved from duty effective immediately. HR will meet you once we land." The crowd that had whispered moments ago now stared in stunned silence. Phones discreetly lifted. Someone muttered, "That's the CEO's daughter?" Zoe didn't gloat. She simply nodded, clutching what remained of her torn ticket. If you're still watching this story so far, don't scroll just yet, because what happens next changes everything. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, because this story's about to take off. When Zoe boarded, every attendant stood straighter. The cabin manager personally guided her to her seat. Suite 1A, where a handwritten note awaited. Miss Carter, our sincerest apologies for the earlier incident. Your comfort and respect are our top priority. Captain Moreno and crew. As she sat down, Zoe exhaled slowly. She wasn't angry anymore, just reflective. All she'd wanted was to travel peacefully. But her grace had revealed something deeper, the quiet power of dignity under pressure. From the cockpit, Captain Moreno made a discreet call to corporate. Within minutes, the message reached Jonathan Carter himself. Her father's voice came through the cabin intercom just before takeoff. This is Jonathan Carter. To my daughter Zoe, thank you for reminding this airline what true class looks like. And to our staff, let this be a lesson. Every passenger deserves respect. The cabin applauded softly. Melissa, escorted out by airport security, lowered her head as she passed the window, her arrogance stripped away.